Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new video and this one is a little bit different. I am working on an album for my husband for his trip to the Smoky Mountains, and I had shown my prep video a little bit ago, getting ready to do it, and then things didn't go as I expected. Just to let you know, this is the album I'm using. It's a 6x12 album from Studio Calico, and I had that already, so it was ready to go. He picked it out himself, that's what he wanted. And my plan was I would do it the way I usually do it, where I'll just go a layout at a time and do process videos and all that. But I ended up going on a scrap retreat with some girlfriends, brought this with thinking I would just sort of organize, maybe work on it a little. I ended up doing quite a few layouts, so I have those to share. So it's a little bit of a flip through video showing just what I've gotten done so far. This is probably maybe not even a third of what will be in this album, but I at least have it started. So I open with a full 6x12 page here, and I used an enlarged photo, but then obviously I had to cut it to be 6 inches wide because it was a 5x7. So I just made sure it was a photo that I wouldn't lose anything if I cut off the edges there. So that is the title page, and this is an acetate piece from an Ali Edwards travel release. I think it was 2021. Pretty sure, but I've just held on to it because the colors are a little bit different. It's not something I would use all the time, but for this, because it's a lot of outdoor and nature shots, it works perfectly. And then this is also an acetate piece from Ali Edwards, and of course, because they're from the same set, the color matches, so it made sense to use it here. And you'll notice I didn't put dates on here because there is a spot for those coming on one of the other layouts, and I didn't feel like I needed it twice, so I just didn't do it here. So on this side, my husband had this map that he basically just took a picture of a map they had of the Smoky Mountains Park, and then wanted that towards the beginning just to show all the different places that they made it to. So that's what I have here. And then he wanted to do a little bit of journaling down here, so I just put in an off-white piece of paper so that he could do that when this is all done. And then I used this acrylic piece, Into the Wild, from Colorcast Designs, and a little bit of chipboard, a little bit of washi. Nothing too exciting. The background is so busy with these birch trees that I decided to just kind of leave it as that, because anything else would probably overwhelm it a little too much. And then on this side, here we get into pictures of them actually going, and this was unusual in that normally when they take these trips, these are my husband and some siblings, they have flown every other place. So this is the first time really where they have been driving. So I got to use some road trip stuff here. So I have some pictures here. I did use some very thin washi. This is a card from scrapbook.com from their travel set. And so he will have to fill this in. Probably that won't happen to the end. That's usually what happens when I do an album for him, is that none of the journaling is done until the very end. And again, some washi, and then I had this little Flair badge of a car. And I don't do a lot of road trip scrapping usually, and so when I get stuff like that, I tend to hang on to it for a while. So I'm happy that I actually got to use it finally. And here is pretty much their first stop once they got to their destination. So this is where they went out to have drinks and dinner once they arrived. And nothing too crazy here. A puffy sticker. Is this a sticker or a chipboard? Nope, I think that's a sticker. I think these are actually from the same set by Ellie Studio. And just a simple card, but I wanted to work in the red from the cup. And I think that pulls it together. And then over here, I have a flip out page, and this is something I'm really into lately. I started it in 6x8 because the pages were made with a flip already built in. This I had to do myself, so I just bought a 9x12 page protector in a configuration I wanted, and then I scored it myself and folded it. But I love that I can get extra photos here and here, plus have the base over here. And I used a Doodlebug 3D item here. Actually, these are all from the same little 3D set thing that I bought. And then I just try to get the cards and the other elements to match as best as possible. And then it just happened that Doodlebug also had paper to match this little cabin. So I used just pieces of the paper to tie it all together here, and I think it worked out pretty well. And then this is their first full morning. So here they're enjoying coffee out on the deck of the cabin where they were staying, and this was their view. So I just did some chipboard, some fun phrases, nothing too out of the ordinary there. I do have a fear of this in that I need to keep it relatively flat. And so, you know, using one flare already and some chipboard, it does add some dimension. It raises things up a little bit. So I'm trying to be conscious of that as I do all these pages. And then on this side, this was a sticker that my husband picked up at one of the park gift shops, I think. And so I wanted to include that. And I had this topography card here. I think that's also Allie Edwards that worked in the background. I'm using a lot of Allie Edwards stuff, I see, because this is one as well. Another acetate piece. I just clipped off the top and stapled it in there. And then here, they're out in the woods now exploring. And so I had lots of embellishments and ephemera pieces that talk about hiking and being in the woods and getting in touch with nature and that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that I'm able to put a lot of those to use here. So I have those. This is actually a piece of vellum that has foil on it, and it worked perfectly with these photos because it's a tree pattern, and that's awesome because they were in the woods. And then I did a wood veneer and just this little piece here, and I think this is from Citrus Twist. I think this is Ellie's Studio, but I'm not 100% positive on that. And then over here I have a different page protector style that I've really come to like a lot. This is made by Close to My Heart. They're the only company that makes it in this size, to my knowledge. So you can get 4 horizontal 3x4s, and that's highly uncommon. And so I've really been trying to use these now that I have found them. So I just put a very large sticker here, little puffy sticker, this little circle that says just go. Kept it very simple. And then I went with a similar aesthetic on the other side. Big sticker, just a little phrase, another one here, and everything matches so well because it's basically all, you know, green, brown, gray. That's not too hard to match. On this side, the photos were similar in terms of color. So I kept to that palette. So I have green, brown, gray, a little cream or off-white here. Again, this is from Allie Edwards. Both of these are, I think both of these are from Citrus Twist. I know these are because that's a full chipboard set. I think this piece is too. And on the back, still working with a lot of green, brown, gray because they're in the woods. So I just kept with that. I mixed in a little bit of a lighter green here to just give it some contrast. And I loved this because it brings in some other colors, but it's not super crazy or wild. It still matches. And then I did some stamping here. That's a set from Kelly Perky. Little piece of ephemera. And then over here, I have to be honest, when I work on a lot of outdoorsy stuff, I get tired of just blue, green, brown, gray. Everything starts looking like that, and I was really feeling that here. So on this one, I decided to pull out some different colors and see what I could do. And because this line had some red in it down here, I thought, well, I'm going to go for it. So I used some red pattern washi. I found this puffy sticker I had that was red and white. And then I had just the end of a label left. And I thought, well, you know what? It's just a pop of color. I'll use it. So I just used that little end piece, put it on there, and I think that works well. And then here is another flip out page. So this is a different style than the one I had before. So this has 2 4x6s vertical on the side, which you don't see that often, but I like it. So if you're liking the look of this, check out some 9x12 page protectors and just see what styles you like and then see if it works to have a fold like that. So here I just used a background card, a puffy sticker, same here. This is just a 3x4 card I slapped on there with a sticker. I like to keep it simple when I can. And then all these photos, just some phrases, you know, small things. I knew that this didn't need journaling because there would be a little bit here. So this is fine that it's pretty much all photos and no space for journaling. And then here I have another one of those inserts, but I haven't done this layout yet. But I want to keep it in there so I remember where it's supposed to go. I try to do that when I'm working on my husband's trips when I'm not with him because I don't remember the stuff that happened. I wasn't there. So I try to keep that in there to hold my place. And then he wants this put in there, the little piece of ephemera there. Haven't gotten to this side of it, but I did do this side of the layout, and that was the end of the day. So he wanted his mileage put on there that he walked. So he just did a screenshot from his phone. We printed it out, and it worked to have them stacked like this. Couple pieces of ephemera, and then I did some white splattering with Dina Wakley ink. I had one page that wasn't done. That one will stay there, but then I had this one. It was very simple. I just found some stuff that had bikes on it, which was great, and then they actually had kind of a snafu in here. It took them like way longer than they were told for these bike rentals to wait around and get them, and so I used the Detour chipboard there. And then they had golfing. That was easy too, just pick the best photos and then a couple of phrases, really. That's it. It didn't take a lot because he's going to journal there. And then I have dropped in the pictures and the cards here because I know I want to use this one, but that's it. I didn't actually finish the layout. Same here, so no embellishments or anything, but you can kind of see where this is going. I've dropped some of these in, and then I just need to do what's left with them. But this was a pleasant surprise that I went to a retreat and got this much done when I wasn't sure I would do anything on it. So by the time I come back to keep working on this, I'll already be a third through the album, which is kind of fun. Hopefully it'll go quickly. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing this and you'll stay with me as I do the rest of the layouts. Thanks for watching.